The exhibition hall was plunged into chaos, with screams echoing from every corner and the emergency evacuation alarm blaring incessantly. Mist burns quickly spread, creating new victims at an alarming rate. Dog-Yun, overwhelmed and unable to handle the situation, fled the hall, leaving everyone behind in a desperate attempt to escape his own trauma. Suho, initially stunned by Dog-Yun's flight, quickly decided he couldn't abandon the others. He grabbed a fire extinguisher from a corner of the hall and charged toward the mist burns. The white powder from the extinguisher temporarily suppressed the mist burns' firepower, providing a brief moment of relief. During this respite, Suho spotted his fallen friend, Kim Dae-hyun, who was in shock and injured. Suho rushed to his side, shaking him and eventually slapping him to bring him back to his senses. Realizing they needed to escape, Suho noticed that Dae-hyun had twisted his ankle. Determined to save him, Suho picked up his friend and carried him to safety. As they made their way out, Dae-hyun anxiously inquired about their teaching assistant, Im Dog-Yun, who was known among the students as a hunter. Suho, not wanting to scare Dae-hyun further, reassured him by saying he had seen Dog-Yun requesting help from the Hunters Association. Relieved by this news, Dae-hyun sighed as Suho carried him to safety. Suho and Dae-hyun exited the exhibition hall, only to face even more chaos outside. The entire art gallery was overrun by mist burns, and cries for help filled the air. It seemed like the whole building was swarmed by these multiplying beasts. Suho, realizing the danger, quickly assessed the situation. The exits were blocked, and people were huddled together, paralyzed with fear. Determined to help, Suho raised his fire extinguisher and caught the attention of the frightened crowd. He managed to convey that the fire extinguisher could temporarily suppress the mist burns, offering a glimmer of hope. Encouraged by this idea, people scattered in search of fire extinguishers. Some were successful and cheered, while others looked pale with fear. Suho led those with extinguishers, knowing they would be the ones to fight. He aimed at a mist burn and sprayed, temporarily weakening its firepower. This inspired others to join in, and together they began to push back the creatures. Suho's quick thinking and leadership provided the much-needed morale boost. They cautiously made their way down the stairs, knowing more trouble awaited them. As Suho and Dae-hyun continued their descent, more mist burns closed in from behind, causing renewed panic among the survivors. The crowd, overwhelmed by fear, rushed down the stairs. Suho gritted his teeth, knowing they were almost at safety. Realizing the danger, Suho placed Dae-hyun down and asked if he could continue on his own. Determined, Suho took charge of the rear, urging those with fire extinguishers to clear the way ahead. Suho, though inexperienced, moved instinctively, attacking the mist burn that lunged at him from behind with his fire extinguisher. The stream of white powder from the extinguisher abruptly stopped, leaving Suho facing the mist burn with a sense of impending doom. Just as the mist burn surged towards him, blue smoke beginning to engulf him, something strange happened. The mist burn halted suddenly, confronting the profound abyss within Suho. Mist burns, feeble beings born from remnants of magic, thrived on instinct. Their strength grew with the amount of fuel they consumed, allowing them to multiply endlessly. These traits made them particularly tricky to overcome. Their favorite fuel source was living beings, with humans being exceptionally suitable due to their abundant vitality, making Suho a prime target. As Suho was engulfed by the mist burn, something unexpected happened. The dark abyss hidden within him swallowed the mist burn whole. The mist burn found itself in an endless void, bewildered and confused. No matter where it looked, the abyss stretched out infinitely. It could sense something watching it from the depths, prompting it to release its blue mist in a ferocious growl. However, only empty echoes returned its cries. The mistburn soon realized that the entire abyss was watching it, almost as if it were a delicious meal. In a shocking twist, the abyss opened its mouth wide, ready to devour the mistburn. Despite its desperate attempts to flee, the mistburn was helpless against the overwhelming force of the abyss. Suho watched in bewilderment as the mistburn that had engulfed him suddenly dispersed into thin air. The human body it had used as a vessel crumbled into ashes and collapsed on the spot. Before he could comprehend what had happened, a surprising message appeared before him. It read, "The Mistburn has been defeated. Secret quest, you have met the completion requirements of the courage of the helpless." His eyes widened in disbelief as another message flashed, indicating he had leveled up. Dazzling light surrounded Suho's entire body, marking the beginning of a significant transformation. Meanwhile, on Daehyun's side, he barely managed to escape from the art gallery building and collapsed outside, exhausted. His eyes instinctively searched for Suho, but he was nowhere to be seen. The crowd murmured in confusion, recalling Suho's bravery with the fire extinguisher. Someone mentioned that Suho had gone back to take care of the rear, but he hadn't emerged yet, causing further panic. Just then, the hunters arrived, led by Dogyun, who had previously fled. Relieved to see the survivors, Dogyun and the hunters were puzzled by the large number of people who had escaped. Daehyun urgently informed them that Suho was still inside, emphasizing that Suho was not a hunter, but had saved everyone. The hunters were shocked and curious about how a civilian could have done such a thing. Before they could delve deeper, a loud crash came from the art gallery, and a sinister magical force surged toward the top of the building. The hunters immediately recognized the danger, realizing that the erosion had already begun.